In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create a client database in Google Sheets, step by step, so you can organize your contacts, track their status, and manage your outreach all in one place. Google Sheets is incredibly powerful because it's free, cloud-based, and works just like a professional spreadsheet tool. Yet it's accessible to anyone with a Google account. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. First, you'll want to open a new blank sheet in Google Sheets. This is your canvas, so don't worry about making it perfect right away. We'll build it systematically. The very first thing you need to do is set up your column headers in row 1. This is the most important step because your headers define every piece of information you'll store about each client. Think of them as the labels on filing cabinet drawers. If they're clear, you'll always find what you need. I recommend keeping your headers explicit and standardized so that anyone looking at your sheet, or even you 6 months from now, can instantly understand each column. For a solid client database, include these core fields: client ID, client name, contact information broken into separate columns for email and phone, status, value or pricing, and last contacted. For client ID, use a unique identifier like CL001, CL002, and so on. This gives every client a unique key, which prevents confusion if 2 people share a name. Client name should hold either the full name or the company name, depending on your need. For contact information, I strongly suggest splitting email and phone into 2 separate columns. This makes filtering and mail merging far easier later. Under status, you'll track the client's current lifecycle phase, such as lead, active, or on hold. This is a game changer because you can instantly see where each relationship stands. Value or pricing holds the contract size or retainer amount, giving you a quick financial snapshot. And last contacted is simply the date you last reached out. This keeps your follow-ups timely and professional. Once you've typed these headers into row 1, double check that each one is spelled consistently. A small typo like email instead of email can cause headaches when you start using formulas or filters. Now that your headers are set, let's make sure they stay visible no matter how many rows of clients you add. This step is called freezing the header row, and it's something many beginners skip, but it makes a world of difference. When you scroll down through a long list of clients, your headers will vanish off the top of the screen, and you'll lose context about what each column contains. To prevent that, click on row 1 to select it. Then go to the top menu and click View. From the drop-down, hover over Freeze, and then select one row. Instantly, a thin grey line will appear just below row 1, and as you scroll down, those headers will stay pinned at the top. This is especially helpful when you have dozens or hundreds of clients, because you never have to guess which column is which. A common pitfall I see is people forgetting to freeze the header row after adding new columns. If you ever insert a column, just double check that your freeze still applies correctly. Also, you can freeze more than one row if you later add a second header row for subcategories, but for a clean client database, one row is perfect. This one simple tweak transforms your sheet from a messy list into a professional navigable tool. With your headers frozen, you're ready to start entering client data. Begin filling in row 2 and below with your actual client information. For client ID, use a consistent pattern like CL001, CL002, and so on. You can even use Google Sheets autofill feature. Type CL001 into the first cell, then click the small blue square at the bottom right corner of that cell and drag it down. Sheets will automatically increment the numbers, saving you time and preventing typos. For client name, type the full name or company name exactly as you want it to appear in communications. For email and phone, keep them in separate columns. Trust me, this makes mail merges and filter searches far more effective. When you enter status, be consistent with your labels. Use exact terms like lead, active, on hold, or closed won. If you type active in one row and active in another, filters and formulas will treat them as different categories. A best practice is to use data validation for the status column. Select that column, go to Data in the top menu, choose Data Validation, and then set a list of allowed values. This gives you a drop-down menu, so you can only pick from your predefined statuses, eliminating errors. For value or pricing, enter numbers only. Don't add $signs or commas, because that can interfere with calculations later. You can format those cells as currency by selecting them, clicking Format, then Number, and choosing Currency. For last contacted, use a date format that matches your region. Again, consistency is key. If you use mm/dd/yyyy in one row and dd/mm/yyyy in another, sorting by date will become chaotic. A quick tip, you can use the shortcut Ctrl+ or Command+ on a Mac to insert today's date instantly. Let's recap what you've accomplished. You've opened a new Google Sheet, set up clear and standardized column headers for client ID, name, contact info, status, value, and last contact date, and you've frozen that header row so it stays visible as you scroll. You've also started entering your client data with consistent formatting and even used data validation to keep your statuses clean. This database is now a living, breathing tool that you can sort, filter, and expand as your client list grows. A great next step is to add a filter view. Select your entire data range, including the header row, then click Data and create a filter. This lets you instantly show only active clients or only those with a certain value, without altering the underlying data. And don't forget to back up your sheet regularly by downloading a copy as an Excel file or simply sharing it with a trusted colleague. If you ever feel stuck, come back to this video and revisit these steps. You've built something genuinely useful today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.